Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, what's up, Las Vegas? It is Thursday, and it is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. Oh, yeah, we got a jam-packed show lined up for you today. We're going to get to the impeachment trial here in just a few minutes, but some great guests lined up. As I mentioned, one of my favorite reality shows in the history of television and one of the most successful shows, Pawn Stars, right here in Las Vegas. Right there, a couple blocks down the road from Fremont Street. Rick Harrison will be joining us from Pawn Stars coming up here at the bottom of the hour. There are a lot of Kobe Bryant stories that this show alone has debunked. There are people that are calling for TMZ to go off the air. Now there are the people that run this helicopter company, Sikorsky, urging customers to install crash warning systems. But we had Kobe Bryant's former pilot on yesterday that said the opposite, that it wouldn't have helped. So we'll get to that coming up. And Mr. X, also known as the Hollywood conservative, will be joining us. Going to ask him about Kobe and, of course, Harvey Weinstein, Don Lemon. Plenty of issues to get to with him. Hour number 3, Darcy Spears, the Dirty Dining segment from Channel 13, will be joining us. And a really weird story coming out of UNLV. A UNLV football player, a senior, had a heart attack while working out. It kind of raises some eyebrows. I'll explain what that means. And then Larry Neumeister from the Associated Press will be joining us. He's covering the Michael Avenatti Nike case. So we'll get the latest on that as well. So as I said, jam-packed show, a lot to get to, a lot to go over. Also, another teacher in a classroom calling Kobe Bryant a racist. We played one yesterday. We got another one today. These teachers need to be fired, period. We'll talk about that coming up in hour number 2. All right, let's start with this impeachment trial. Listen, my opinions on this trial haven't changed from the beginning. They haven't changed from the beginning. And it's pretty simple. Get to the truth, regardless of what the Democrats want. Now, what do the Democrats want? Obviously, they want Donald Trump out of office. I think any reasonable human being would say that. What do Republicans want? Republicans want to make sure that that doesn't happen, that Trump remains in office. Sadly, I think what Americans are tired of, it's not necessarily the impeachment. They're tired of politics as usual. They're tired of people going on party lines. That's what Americans, I believe, are tired of. I can't stand it when I hear people on Fox News say, Americans want this impeachment trial to be over with. Well, Fox News, you don't speak for me. I'm an American. Who are you polling? People that watch Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham? Of course they want it to be over tomorrow. But there are things going on in this trial that are beyond ridiculous, besides the fact that the Republicans are trying to block witnesses from testifying. How can you call it a trial with no witnesses? It's not a trial, it's a sham. Or as Donald Trump would say, witch hunt. We want to know the truth. We want all the evidence to come forward, whether that's text messages, paperwork, and witnesses. The American people deserve to know, if not for these lame duck senators. But now we have a guy, you've heard of him before, a man on the Trump defense team. He defended O.J. Simpson. He defended Harvey Weinstein. And he has ties to Jeff Epstein. So that resume alone shows that he's a wonderful person. I'm talking, of course, about Alan Dershowitz. And Alan Dershowitz spoke yesterday in the defense of Donald Trump in this trial in front of senators. And his explanation of no quid pro quo is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard any attorney say in my life. He's talking about the president, and he said he believes since the president thought it was in the country's best interest for him to be reelected in 2020, that there couldn't be a quid pro quo. That's right, folks. I'm not making this up. Have a listen to this audio of Alan Dershowitz and his explanation yesterday during the Senate trial.
Every public official that I know believes that his election is in the public interest. And mostly you're right. Your election is in the public interest. And if a president does something which he believes will help him get elected in the public interest, that cannot be the kind of quid pro quo that results in impeachment.
Okay, have you ever heard anything more ridiculous in your life? Start off, forget you're a Republican if you are. Forget you're a Trump supporter if you are. Do you understand the ridiculous argument that Alan Dershowitz, it's almost like Alan Dershowitz in the O.J. trial if he said O.J. couldn't have killed Nicole because he loved her. It wasn't in the family's best interest for him to decapitate Nicole Brown Simpson. He couldn't have murdered her. It's the same argument. It's that ridiculous. He's saying that since Donald Trump believed in his narcissistic head, him running in 2020 is in the country's best interest, it couldn't be a quid pro quo. How can anybody, and I mean anybody, go along with that type of ridiculous argument? I guess there are some people that agree with him. Can I remind everybody, by the way, when we talk about the majority of the public, and I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. The majority of Americans, I'm talking about several million of them, voted for Hillary Clinton. More than they voted for Donald Trump. So this idea that the majority of the country want Donald Trump in 2020 is a lie, and I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Again, Donald Trump did not get the majority of votes in this country in 2016, and I don't think he's going to get the majority of votes in 2020, no matter who is running up against Donald Trump. That means the majority of the country, they're not voting for Donald. So this idea that it's in the best public interest and this idea that Republicans want to put forward in this trial, I can't stand it when I hear people making appearances on the right that say, well, you know, the economy is great. You know, the stock market is fantastic. He's the best president, ever. By the way, that is completely academic to this trial. And I mean completely academic to this trial. The unemployment numbers and how the economy is doing and how some of his policies are working has absolutely zero bearing to this trial. Why? Because this trial isn't a popularity contest. It's not trying to figure out how popular Donald Trump is and his chances of winning the re-election in 2020. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with 2016. Nothing. Make no mistake about it. This trial has everything to do with whether or not Donald Trump committed high crimes and misdemeanors. That is exactly what this trial is about. And without getting all the evidence, without getting all the information, without having witnesses testify, without getting text messages, without getting the paperwork that the Democrats have asked for, we're never going to know the truth. Isn't that what this is all about? Isn't that what trials are all about? Trying to find out the truth, whether the defendant committed a crime or not. Trying to figure out whether there is guilt or not. Getting the most information. You can talk about the Constitution and you could talk about executive privilege, but in layman's terms, the bottom line is it's not a trial unless witnesses are called. Period. You can give me all the legal jargon crap you want. The bottom line is if you're not calling witnesses, it's not a trial. Number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-257-5396. Again, that number, your thoughts on this, your thoughts on Dershowitz, Dirty Dershowitz, as I would like to call him. This is a guy who's defended O.J. Simpson. This is a guy who's defended Harvey Weinstein. He also has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And this is the guy that's defending Donald Trump. Do you believe him? What do you think about this? What do you think about the fact that he's making the argument yesterday there can't be a quid pro quo because Trump believes that it's in the public's best interest for him to run for re-election in 2020 and win? Can't be a quid pro quo. It is the dumbest argument I have ever heard in my life from any attorney. And I mean any attorney. It's that bad. And Alan Dershowitz is an embarrassment to law. He is an embarrassment. Again, that number to call is 702-257-5396. Again, 257-5396 if you do want to be a part of this conversation. Let's start off with Donald. Donald, you're first up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Yeah, hey, Brian, I just wanted to bring up a point. I've heard you say countless times on the air about Hillary winning the popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to point out that the popular vote doesn't decide anything. I think it's kind of a moot point that you make.
No, I don't think it's a moot point at all, and I'll tell you why I bring it up, Donald. And by the way,
Okay.
I do know how the law works. I do understand that, but the bottom line is more people voted for Hillary Clinton than they voted for Donald Trump. Period. So what is that?
Yeah,
so hold
I
on.
get that.
Okay. So I don't think you do get it. There's a reason why I bring that up. It's very simple. So hold on.
Here, I got an idea what you're going to say. I mean, I want to ask you one quick question.
Well, hold on. Let me just quickly say it, and then you could ask me your question.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to speak slowly here. It means more people voted for Hillary than Donald. It means more people supported Hillary. Do you not understand that?
No, I do. But how
is that not relevant? How many
times that? Well, are you going to let me talk, or are you going to keep interrupting?
Well, you said something, and you said you didn't understand why I brought it up, and now all of a sudden, 20 seconds later, you're saying you do understand? You're not making any sense.
But let me ask you a question here to put this into context, since you seem to have a hard time doing any of that type of stuff.
Oh, I have a hard time. What do you mean? Well, hold on a second. What do you mean? You're not going to insult me. What do you mean I have a hard time putting things in context? I'm just making no. I just made a very simple point on this show. More people voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. Please explain to me how I'm having a hard time putting something into context when you don't seem to understand the point I'm making.
Because you're ignoring the simple fact that the popular vote doesn't decide who's the president.
When did I say, when did I say that the popular vote decides who's president? I understand how it works.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Brian, real quick.
How would I not?
Ask you a simple question.
Okay, but don't insult me when you're the one saying stupid things, not me, and you're the one not understanding me. Okay,
that's your opinion.
No, it'd be anybody's opinion that's logical. Go ahead, Donald.
A typical Democrat.
Ask your and there's something else that you said that's not factual. Would you like to say anything else? Do you know what my voting record is? You assume because excuse me.
I want to ask you one question.
Okay,
you won't even let me.
Then stop saying. Okay, well, stop saying stupid things. Then, okay, you just said I'm a Democrat. Okay. Do you know what my voting record is?
Anyway.
No. There is no anyway. No. No.
Right.
Pot him down. You see, when you keep saying dumb things that don't make sense, like I'm a Democrat, because you don't like the things I say about your boy Donald Trump every day, that makes you sound like an idiot. When you say things like, Brian, don't you understand how the voting works? You know, popular vote doesn't mean anything. I never said the popular vote is who wins the presidency. The point I was trying to make was when people say the majority of this country, they want Donald Trump in office. That's not true. And you can go back to 2016 where more people voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. Now, I will bring you back on the air unless you say something else that is not factual or ignorant. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. One quick question.
I can't wait.
Answer it, and we'll go from there.
I can't wait.
How many times did Donald Trump campaign in California during the 2016 campaign cycle?
Don't know exactly how many times he campaigned in California. No idea.
He campaigned 0 times.
Okay, and how is that relevant? And how is that relevant to this conversation? Hillary Clinton didn't go into a lot of different battleground states that she should have. She didn't campaign very well. So what's your point?
Well, you can say that. My point is that when the popular vote seems to matter to all these Democrats, had he campaigned in California, he most likely would have won that too.
You're making a gross assumption, and you don't know that for a fact.
But
no.
Brian.
Yeah. Donald. Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah. Donald.
You're making the same assumption that says, well, Hillary won the popular vote because more Americans
It's very
voted.
simple.
Yeah,
it's very simple.
More Americans voted for her, but it makes no difference. It's kind of like the football team who gets the most first
Okay,
downs
so let me ask you a question.
Wins the game.
Yeah,
Are you going to say,
that's a great sports.
49ers may have lost on Sunday, but they got more first downs.
That's a great sports.
They're the better football
That's a great sports analogy. Donald, you sound like Laura Ingraham. Can you name 3 players on the 49ers? Yeah, exactly. Get the hell off my show, you dummy. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Al. Al, you're next up on the Vegas Take. Go ahead, Al. What's on your mind?
Good morning, guys. Well, I'm a little worried now about asking my question because you seem to be a bit wound up.
No, Al, here's the deal, my friend. Al,
because of the last caller.
Al, I will treat Al. Hold on. I'll treat you with respect, Al. Sorry to interrupt you. The guy started off insulting me, labeling me. When anybody does that, that's when I go off, Al. You can ask me any question you want, my friend, as long as you're respectful. I got no problem.
You've always been very respectful with me, and so I'm just kidding around.
Well, you're probably a reasonable guy. That's why.
Yeah, I think what he may have been trying to say, not to defend that guy in any way, because I really care less, but I think he was trying to say that because he won California or lost California and New York, and it's so heavily populated that maybe skewed the popular vote. I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, it's possible.
I did want to say this.
It's possible, Al, but let me just respond and say this. The facts are the facts, and the facts are that more Americans voted for Hillary than Donald. I think we're very divided.
1,000% correct.
And, Al, this is the point I'm trying to make. We're very divided as a country. I believe around half the country, maybe more, dislikes Donald Trump. So when people make the argument, which is the point I was trying to make, that the majority of the country, they just want this impeachment to be over tomorrow and let Donald Trump do his thing, I don't think that's factually accurate. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Well, this is the reason I called and the point I wanted to make, and then I'll go and I'll let you discuss it. And but I think it's important that you be careful in the sense that what you're saying, and I don't agree with the clip you played of Alan Dershowitz and how he characterized things.
Mm-hmm.
I think he sounded really he didn't sound like a Harvard law professor at that point.
Yeah, we agree.
But I will say this: you're calling him names and you're listing the people he's defended.
Yep.
You've had people like our former mayor on your show who defended bloody murderers, and you speak highly of that gentleman. So I would say that we need to really look at it for what it is. And I get that it's radio and it's part of the show, and you want to get conversation going, but I think it's a little bit disingenuous to talk about his list of clients when everybody deserves a defense.
Well,
regardless of how,
my comment on Oscar Goodman is you're absolutely right. He's defended many mobsters. He's defended many people in the mob. But the point I'm trying to make now is, Oscar Goodman is not relevant in the sense that he's not defending those people anymore, and he hasn't for years. Harvey Weinstein is certainly in the news right now, and that was not very long ago where Alan Dershowitz defended Harvey Weinstein. Also, he has ties to Jeff Epstein. We all know that was relevant in the news as of late. And, the bottom line is when you talk about Oscar Goodman, he hasn't represented a mobster in a very, very long time. Doesn't mean I agree with him representing those sorts of people. But at the same time, we had Oscar Goodman on the show yesterday to talk about Kobe Bryant, not to talk about people he defended. And the reason why I'm bringing up Alan Dershowitz, and by the way, I've never spoken about Alan Dershowitz before. The reason why I'm bringing him up today is because of the comments he made yesterday, and it's a credibility issue.
I understand. So 10 years down the road, then Alan Dershowitz gets a pass because those people won't be in the news anymore?
Well, I won't be talking about Alan Dershowitz on the show because it won't be relevant. The only reason why I'm talking about him on the air right now, Al, to be perfectly honest with you, is because of the comments he made yesterday. Otherwise, I could care less about Alan Dershowitz. I'm just being completely as honest with you as much as I can, but I do appreciate the phone call. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Jennifer. Jennifer, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's up?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Alan Dershowitz is very respected. He's been an author of the Lib shows for years at CNN, and the Democrats love him until now. And last week, I believe it was in the Wall Street Journal, and it's been mentioned many times, Hillary did not win that popular vote.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
7 million votes were like illegal aliens.
There are no facts. No, Jennifer. There are no Jennifer. And what study? InfoWars did a study. There's no Jennifer. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I appreciate the phone call. With all due respect, we're not going to go with right-wing conspiracy theories. You're taking that from the Donald Trump playbook. There's no evidence to support that there were fake 7 million votes. I don't know where you're getting that information from. No idea. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Linda. Linda, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's up?
Hi. All I just wanted to say is one thing about Alan Dershowitz. I'm sure you know this, but just in case. He is a Democrat, and he did vote for Hillary.
Yeah, I could care less about that. But, whatever his voting record is, I really don't care. I'm just going by what he said yesterday. So let me ask you this, Linda, since we have you on the line. What do you think about him saying yesterday that since Donald Trump believes that it's in the best public interest for him to run in 2020, that there can't be a quid pro quo? I would hope you don't agree with that.
Well, I really don't know much about the legal aspects of all this to even comment. I just, hope, we get to the bottom of it and everything comes out.
Well, I do too, Linda. We agree on that. We both want to hear the truth. I agree. Thank you for the call, Linda. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Doug. Doug, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
By the way, I don't know how you deal with some of your callers. God bless you for all the patience you have.
No problem.
During Trump's administration, he actually clamped down on aid to the Triangle countries that were not helping us with the immigration problem.
Right.
I think it's. I agree with you completely. I won't be happy as a supporter of the conservative movement if this is just dropped and there's no witnesses.
Yeah, I agree.
If you play it out and it turns out that, listen, this happens in the presidency a lot. You say, listen, I want to go get those MFers because they're doing this or that.
Right.
And it's for a real reason that he was worried about corruption in Ukraine, which there is.
Right.
But you and I both know that the man in the White House does not have the tact or the political skills or knowledge to handle it properly.
Yeah,
and if it was handled improperly and illegally, I'm sorry. Throw the book at him.
It's so simple. Let me ask you a two-part question here. First of all, if he was so innocent, wouldn't he want to make Democrats look dumb and get all the evidence out there and let witnesses testify, number one? I mean, number two, have you ever heard of a trial that didn't have witnesses? It's not a trial when there's no witnesses.
I agree with you on both counts, and I think if you sat down and asked the president whether he would like all the facts to come out, I don't really think he's the one that doesn't want to vote. I think he wants himself to be exonerated completely and have all the witnesses.
Yeah, listen, Doug.
I think he does.
You're right, Doug. Those are some good points there. I hope that we can hear all those witnesses, because if he did not break the law, I want to know about it. I want to know the facts. Let's go to Elle. Elle, you're next up in the Vegas Take. What's going on, Elle?
Good morning, Brian. Long
morning.
time. You know what? You're the best. I try to listen to these people, but this is what I would do if I'm the Democrats, because you could see the fixes in. They don't want witnesses. I think they have enough votes to block it. So if I'm the Democrats, I'd just say, you know what? We're not going to go. No more questions today, because it's not going anywhere. You guys are going to exonerate him. And why keep the charade going? And did you hear about this place in Cleveland where they were actually paying black voters to vote for Trump? So he's all over the country with the corruption, not just at the White House. So what do you think about the Democrats just saying, scrap this? We know where it's going. And a lot of the voters are saying we want witnesses.
It's a good question, Elle, and I'm going to give you my best honest answer.
Please.
I don't care if the Republicans want to call Hunter Biden or Hillary Clinton or Kanye West. Let the Republicans call whoever they want to call if it means that we're going to get down to the truth. If they want to smear the Bidens, so be it. They're the ones that are going to show that they have no class. As long as we get down to the truth and find out if the president broke the law or not, as long as we get Bolton on the stand, as long as we get Mulvaney and Pompeo on the stand, put them under oath, put them in that situation, and if Republicans want to call people that have absolutely nothing to do with this trial, let them do it. That's what I say.
I agree with you, but we're not going to get our wish. But
sadly, you're probably right.
Your opinion.
Thank you, Elle. I appreciate it. I've got about 30 seconds for Brian. Brian, I apologize. I'm up against a hard break, my man, but you got 30 seconds. Go ahead. Okay, he just lost his 30 seconds. There you go, Brian. We got you back on. Go ahead, Brian.
I just want to know how you confuse the popular vote with the way people feel about this trial in the country. I have a really diverse group of friends, and nobody, Democrat or Republican, agrees with this.
Okay, well, I don't know who your friends are, but I can tell you right now that there are many people that I know that are tired of politics in Washington. They're tired of both sides of the aisle playing games, and they want to know the truth. They want to know if the president committed a crime or not. That's all. It's as simple as that. So your friends, I guess, are different than my friends. Perhaps your friends watch Fox News 24/7 and listen to